My health issues are not only my own, they're also my family's. My husband was diagnosed at 33 with brain cancer, which lasted for 10 years, and that shaped myself as well as my children. Own health, I think due to the stress, became compromised, and I ended up with the uterine cancer as well as breast cancer, and it's been a challenge.
We are going to go into your personal diagnosis, and it is not 100%. It's widely being looked at. It's widely being studied. The how stress relates to the body, and it can manifest itself in many different ways. So you're not too far fetched when you said the stress of various things and how it manifests differently in different people. Some people will say stress led to my cancer. Some people, as you've heard, what they most likely will say is it led to a nervous breakdown. But again, that's just one facet of how this, grief and stress might affect us. We'll pick it up with your personal diagnosis. Give us a little history. Let us get to know you, when you got it, how long it is, your journey, what you went through, if you did chemo, all that stuff. Go ahead.
Okay. So I wasn't down in Florida for very long, and I went to the doc, and I was going for a different type of cancer, and she said, well, to give you the medicine for that, I need you to have a mammogram. You have to be cleared. So I said, oh, every year I had a mammogram. That was never a problem. But for this mammogram I went, they saw something. And then I had to go back for an ultrasound. And then they told me, well, you better go to, back to your doc. And I got a breast cancer doctor, and she did a biopsy, and I found a stage 1 at 11 o'clock on my left breast. And it was like not even more than a centimeter. But she said, let's send it out for biopsy and see what it turns up. So it was a stage 1, and it hadn't, she didn't think it went to the lymph, but we had to do more testing for that. So I went in for a lumpectomy in West Palm, and they did the actual sentinel node biopsy as well as the left lumpectomy, and that's when they found that it truly was stage 1 and it would need at least radiation. My oncotype was 19, which was one above when they recommend chemo as well. But I kind of felt like, well, I'll just do the radiation and go from there. So I did. I did 34 treatments. And some of them were general radiation, others were specific radiation. And following that, I was tired from the radiation, but following that, I was okay. And every 6 months I go for my mammogram. Sometimes they do the left, sometimes they do both.
So due to another diagnosis, another
yes.
illness, you found that out. So it's
yes.
literally a blessing in disguise.
Yes. Due to being eligible for Medicare, that's how it was found. Because I was waiting for Medicare. Wow. I was eligible, yes. And then I said, that's it, I'm going to get a full physical.
Wow.
And I went to get a physical, and I said to my doctor, you know what, do a PAP. I haven't had a PAP in a while, and I've always had not such good PAPs. And she found problems, sent me to a gynecologist. The gynecologist found problems, sent me to a breast doctor. So it was kind of like someone was looking out for me, I feel.
So if for nothing else, that's a huge endorsement to Medicare.
Yes, yes.
How many people wait on the Medicare
yes.
before they do all those things?
Yes, yes.
So, if for nothing, we endorse that today.
Yes. And getting physicals on time.
You seem to be a faith-based person.
A what?
A faith-based person.
Oh, faith-based.
Base.
I can't say I always was.
But you made your journey.
I am now.
You made your journey. Do you think it has helped you in your work, in your walk, in your journey? And give us some insight to you and how you incorporate it, and if you find comfort in that.
Yes, I really feel that I get a lot of support from the people in my temple. Twice a month they have services here in Delray. Other times they have services in Davie or in Lauderdale, but I go to the Delray services. And when I go to either the Saturday night services, which is called Havdalah, or Shabbat services on Friday night, I'm a different person, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I go in there, I'm dancing, I'm singing, I'm lighting the candles, I'm greeting people, I'm bringing new people in. I'll take my neighbors, my elderly neighbors, my other neighbors who help me with the garden, I'll bring them with me. And I really feel that I get like energized when I go and I listen to the rabbi's sermons and we sing all the prayers, and it really is quite remarkable.
What's the name of the temple you got?
Tao.
Tao.
And it's very interesting because the founder just passed away. Her husband was also very involved in the temple, and her son. And her husband really, her loss was like, really got him, and he was very infirmed, but he's getting a lot of positives from the congregation. So now he's back, and he's singing, and he's praying, and we're all lifted up because if he could do this after she's gone 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
and he could do that, and he loved her like the ends of the earth,
Mm-hmm.
then the rest of us have hope that we can do that. And there's a woman there with breast cancer. She's starting a breast cancer support group through the temple. It's not ready yet, but just these kind of things that I feel I'm able to help others. I'll encourage people to get mammograms, and then the person I encourage, she has stage 3 cancer, you know, breast cancer, but at least now she's getting radiation, she's getting chemo, because I walked with her in Israel, and we talked about, you know, our bodies, you know, and what's wrong, because I was just pretty newly done with radiation, and she says, oh, I have to get a mammogram, and I said, well, if you need me to go with you, I'll go with you, and she did, and thank goodness she did. So
your support system, you would say, was a pretty strong one between family and church and...
Well, you know what? I can't feel I moved down here and felt so strongly connected. I've had to work.
You have to work at it.
I had to work at it, and I feel like today, yes, very strong family. I mean, I've gotten closer to my sister, my in-law, you know, one of the surviving in-law, my sisters-in-law, the kids, all my nephews. I really feel I had to make a concerted effort. I've gotten closer with my own children, and I really feel, because every day could be your last day on earth. So I feel like, you know what, if it's petty, let it go. If it's not working, shed your skin and move forward. And that's really what it's all about right now. I love my breast cancer group. I love the temple group. I've joined Heart Space. I go sometimes there to meetings.
Shed me some lights upon you being a descendant of Jewish. And I love your evolvement, how you have evolved spiritually. You were telling me about your garden, and you said, no, it's not a Jewish garden, it's not my garden. I wanted a garden of inclusion because whether you're of the Jewish sect or whatever sect you're of, there's a common denominator. Everyone gets sick. And I don't want to tell it, I want you to tell how you have all this inclusion in the garden, and that how you were telling me about the church and the temple, and I guess, I don't know if someone rents it out and a church comes in or what, but tell us about that inclusion.
Okay. Well, first of all, the temple itself the services are being held in a church. They just cover the cross. But it is in a church. But I don't, you know what, up north too, I was involved with a temple, a rabbi I loved. It was in a church. It doesn't matter to me. My feeling is, I mean, I'm very big in terms of diversity everywhere. I mean, I work with kids who are very impaired, of all denominations, kids on ventilators, kids who have extreme disabilities, kids who have tracheostomies, kids who have feeding issues. I felt that was my mission. When I first came down, I decided I'm going to shed all the others. I'm going to work with those kids who really, really, really need me. And then it evolved. Now I find that I'm drawn to people of all faiths, all denominations, because they have like a good soul. That's what I feel. There are people in Judaism with good souls, people in Muslims with good souls, there's Catholics with good souls. I worked 20 years for the Archdiocese. There are all sorts of groups. And what I'm attracted to is groups and people who do good works. So this East Coast Church group, that's the person who helped me start the garden, but I met that person through one of the East Coast Church teachers. And so that group's very involved. The breast cancer group, I don't even know how I got involved in that group because I never had my services over there. But somehow I got led to that group, and everyone there is so genuine and so loving and so helpful. So I feel like it's a family.
What's the work with, so you still actively work?
Yes, I'm a speech pathologist.
Speech pathologist, oh, fabulous.
And a feeding therapist.
And a feeding therapist. Okay, you work with the challenge kids.
Yes. I could work with adults. I could work with children. I choose to work with young kids, or a little bit older who have physical challenges and mental challenges. That's just how I started in the field, and I didn't do that totally. I've been working more than 40 years, but that's how I want to end my days of work before I retire. I want to help not only the children, but the families. Families are very needy. They have a child who has a lot of physical and other needs. And there are days I'll go into some households and the mother will say, "Can you pray with me?" It's fine. And then when I go to the East Coast Church events and they do like a breakfast, they always do a little prayer. And I'll hold hands with them. And many times they do a prayer over me because I'm going through health challenges. I get prayers from the temple, I get prayers from the breast cancer group, from the church group. I just feel that's very nurturing to my soul.
Wow, awesome. We want to wrap it up, and it's Testimony TV is what we're called, and we're getting people's testimony, and it's to uplift, encourage, just letting people know you're not alone. You know, because there might be somebody watching this and they've had a husband who passed away and been through something, and the kids was affected, or the kids are ill, and them that you just feel like, could I have gotten a better deck of cards here? You know, and it happens. But so when people see or hear and people you're in the same boat as me, they don't feel as isolated. I want you to just reach out to the screen and look at that lens and just share your heart and give some encouragement to the world, because it's what you do without this camera on you. As the world has been listening to you, you do that nonetheless. With the camera on, with the camera off, you're just a giver.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's what started us in doing this. We wanted to, a whole bunch of stuff is on media now. But sometimes a lot of people forget that we get so bogged down in entertainment, we're forgetting humanity.
Yeah.
So I'm just staying in my lane. Nonetheless, that being said, I want you to just go ahead and just encourage whoever might come across the path of this video. Encourage them, give them your words out of your mouth, your feelings.
Okay. So I would like to say to whoever's watching this, don't give up. Reach out. Also be a listener. And sometimes when you're feeling as low as you can, if you give to someone else, listen and help someone else. It could be helping them with something physical or mental or just listening. That will make you feel better, and that will give you a purpose on earth. That you can help someone else. You can share your story. Maybe they have a similar story, but you can't shut down. You need to take everything that you've been through and meditate, be quiet, reconnect, and then come out of your chrysalis and share and listen and get hope and help from a professional or from a friend.
And I've done a few of these interviews, and I want to say this in regards to you, Laura, while I'm here. you're a genuine giver, and it might be actually a gift. And what I'm taking away from this video, and I hope others, when they view it, they're sensing what I'm sensing. You're not being given out of your surplus. Anyone can give out of their surplus. I'm a millionaire, here's $1. You have been given even when you're in the deficit. And that to me is why I'm saying it's a gift of you've been given the gift of charity, to just give. It doesn't matter. You're not waiting for the lottery. You're not waiting for everything to be okay. You'll give your last dollar. And there's something to be said about that, because it says when it's more blessed to give than receive. But in giving, some have said it is a secret in receiving. And I just want to applaud you on that.
Thank you.
I hope the world enjoys this video, enjoy your testimony, and thank you for your time.
You're welcome.